Welcome to Never Too Old, a Star Wars Unlimited podcast.
Welcome back. It's this time of the year. New set is coming out soon. Everybody is playing pre-releases, is playing sealed, draft, whatever. And that's why we're taking a look at all of the leaders from the new set and make a tier list in the context of limited formats. So, what leader is going, or what leaders are going to dominate the limited format, sealed and draft? What leaders should you, in my opinion, in my humble opinion, since this is going to be the definitive tier list and nobody can argue with that, what leaders I think you should look forward to or look for, what leaders I think you need some kind of cards to make them work, and what leaders you should not consider at all. Let's get started, I guess.
Medal ceremony.
I mean, what are we looking for? Some sympathy, I guess, for sure. Leaders that I like. I mean, to some extent. Leaders that I like might maybe end up a little higher, but not that much. Mostly are they gonna do... I think they're gonna work in a limited format, of course, with the available cards that we have from only the new set, A Lawless Time. So first, what do we have? First, this is Saw Gerrera. Saw Gerrera is a double aspect leader. No heroism, no villainy. His command aggression. He's a rebel. He has the action tap this leader, attack with a unit. It gets +2/+0 and gains overwhelm for this attack. After completing this attack, defeat it. You can also straight away attack base with that unit, right? I mean, yes, it dies, but you can attack base compared to Anakin Skywalker. When attack ends, if this unit survived, you may attack with another unit. This unit, the leader, of course, for 7/6 deployment. It gets +2/+0 and gains overwhelm for this attack. After completing this attack, defeated. So you can attack for, I don't know, 6 plus the unit after deployment. But again, the unit that you attack as the second unit dies after you attack. I have high hopes for this one.
You think I'm crazy? Yes, I am. Revolution is not for the same.
I have high hopes for this one. I have to scroll up a little bit. I'm going to put him in S, actually. I think he's going to be strong. I probably think he's not going to be as strong as Anakin, because Anakin would just let you take the damage on base and not have the unit die. That the unit dies is kind of unfortunate, but you get the overwhelm. I mean, I guess you have to like take units that either die anyway or that you don't care that much about. I have high hopes for him. I think in the limited he's gonna be a tiny bit better, because you're not that, maybe in my opinion, not dependent on heroism or villainy. You're getting access to 3 different aspects, right? And you have the splash base on top of that, so include another unit as well. So I mean, you should be able to have a decent card pool when you play limited or draft with this leader. But again, I mean, as may be a little high. I just hope for Saw Gerrera to be good, I guess. There's a tiny bit hope in there. But I think I will put him A anyway in a limited format, because you can have those crazy traits where you just take care of units that have much more health than your units have attack, and then you can trade upwards and stuff. So for now, I guess S. I mean, I guess it has to be AS. I don't know. I mean, I guess the cards have to be there, but I mean, with any leader, the cards have to be there. Anyway, let's put him on S for now. Second one, Tobias Beckett is an interesting one. I think I like him more, or he's much more interesting, I think, in the Premier format. Tobias Beckett, also a double aspect leader, no heroism, no villainy, but command vigilance. He's an underworld leader. Action, tap this leader, choose a friendly unit. An opponent takes control of it. If they do, create a credit token. He deploys on 5 as a 4/6, has, when deployed, defeat any number of units you own but don't control, so the units that you gave to your opponents. For each unit defeated this way, create a credit token and draw a card. I saw him being played the other day online, and he can be insane with bouncing and taking back to your hand, and then if you time it right with his deployment, they just don't have the unit anymore at all. You get a couple of credit tokens when you give away the unit, and then when you defeat it as well. But I think in the limited format, this is going to be much more difficult to pull off. I have him for now on B. 4/6 on 5 deployment is fine. It also depends here, right? You get access to 3 aspects as well, so the card pool should be enough. If you need a leader that like enables you to play those 3 specific aspects, why not take him? If you never give the opponent a unit, or if you just give the opponent 1 unit right before you deploy, why not? If you really need that credit token. But I think it's gonna be difficult to pull off. I think more difficult than Saw Gerrera. I have him in B for now, probably higher B, mid B, something. Because 4/6 on 5 is cool. It all depends on the aspects for both of them, I guess, right? I mean, for any of them, really. Next, we have Agent Kallus, an interesting one as well. He is Vigilance Villainy, but doesn't care much about it, I guess. Action, pay 1, and I always need to be careful while reading that, because I still don't really believe what I'm reading, but let's see. Action, pay 1, tap this leader, play a card from your hand, ignoring its aspect penalty. So that's all aspect penalties, right? You can ignore whatever you want. His Imperial Trooper deploys on 5 as a 3/6, which seems to be standard nowadays. Action, when he deployed action, so you may do that multiple times. Pay 1, play a card from your hand, ignoring its aspect penalties. When you play a heroism card, heal 2 damage from your base. I'm just going to put him on top. I think in limited, he's going to be insane. He doesn't have the downside of deploying on 17 resources and just like not doing anything until later and just having a great ability. I think in limited, he's also rare, usually a sign. I think in limited and draft, he's going to be super insane, because it just gives you, all the bombs that you draft, that you seal, that you take out of boosters, are going to be able to find a way into your deck. And I mean, before, right, we would like pay 1 aspect penalty, why not? Pay stuff for 2 resources more expensive. But this is just insane, right? A card that just anywhere on the spectrum of aspects, you play it for 1 less. And this I think especially in draft, it just enables you everything. I mean, if your neighbor has like access to Kallus, he just takes whatever. He just always takes the best card, right? I mean, of course, he has to have 2 drops and 3 drops. But after that, he just takes the best cards. And, paying 1 more in limited seems not that crazy. In Premier, of course, you sometimes want to play the curve, or you usually, more often than not, than in limited for sure, you want to play the curve. You can include a couple cards that you really need in your deck, sure, why not? But in limited, I feel like he's going to be super insane. I think, odd prediction, I think he's going to win it all. Up next, we have Aurra Sing. Aurra Sing, also Vigilance Villainy leader. He is Underworld Bounty Hunter, has the ability Action. Tap this unit or this leader, defeat a non-leader unit with 1 or less remaining HP. Then deploys on 7 for a 3/7. When deployed, you may defeat a non-leader unit with 5 or less remaining HP. I don't believe in Aurra Sing. I don't think she's super bad. I think there are worse leaders in there to put her in D. But I don't believe in her. I think her ability to we have one the Darth Vader unit that also pings for 1. You can kill one that has 1 HP. It doesn't cost anything. So why not? Sometimes, sure, why not? So, seems like a fun ability. But the 7 deployment and then just for a 3/7, of course you get to destroy something with 5 or less HP. But I think the deployment on 7 is just going to make it super difficult to make her work. You're not going to have the removal or control stuff that you need to make it to 7 resources. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you get some like ping cards and you just defeat units all over the place that have one HP remaining. But I feel like if you, and I'm always looking for like, because there are always 2 leaders in all the aspects, right? To have one that's probably higher up. I mean, if you would pick one of, I think you're always gonna pick Agent Kallus in a limited format. But Aurra Sing, if you just have access to her and you have like tons of crazy cards in the Vigilance villainy shell, why not? But I think she's gonna have a super tough time. Next, Jyn Erso. One to be believed, one of the best leaders in Premiere from the set, or the best leader even. I mean, it's basically, if you have enough rebels and they die every now and then, it's basically, and you can decide when they die as well, right? To some extent. Pay 1, look at the top 3 cards and pick one. I mean, that's not bad, right? We have already the synergies with Aggressive Negotiation or the Hammerhead or whatever, but even without those, just picking cards is a great ability. You're not always doing it because you sometimes want to play on Curve as well. But how is she doing on the limited format? But first, her, like we said, Vigilance, Heroism, Action. Pay 1 and tap this leader. If a friendly rebel unit was defeated this phase, search the top 3 cards of your deck for a card and draw it. She deploys on 5 as a 3/6, and on attack she has the same thing. A rebel had to die in this phase, and then you search the 3 top cards. I think even in limited she's gonna be fine. I think there's enough rebels in there to make her work. You have limited cards, removal cards, limited like events, limited interaction with your opponent, and I sometimes, you know, in the limited format, playing under curve is not as bad as in Premiere. I feel like, you know, looking through the cards and getting the cards that you need might be a good thing in this format as well. So I have her at A, probably not highest A. I think it's gonna be still super dependent on the situation, if you can like pull it off every now and then. But at least she deploys on 5 and has the 3/6 that's going for her. Again, standard, I guess, nowadays. I think she's for sure weaker in limited than Premiere because you don't have the tools to really get the best of the drawing ability. But still, looking through your deck, you know, it's 24 cards. And you want the bombs in your deck. You want them when you need them. And just doing this, you know, why not? Then we have the experience leader from this set. Experience leaders that were usually quite strong in the past. We have, what do we have? We have Obi, we have Leia, we have Tarkin. Not Talcin, Tarkin, Grand Moff Tarkin from the first set, that were usually pretty strong. You know, the downside of doing something to yourself for dishing out experiences like disclosing or losing the Force was very strong. Now we have a Vigilance Heroism leader that is a rebel that reads Action. Exhaust this leader, give an experience token to a unit, an opponent creates a credit token. She also deploys on 6 resources as a 4/7. That's okay, I guess. I would rather have her deploy on 5, but whatever. On attack, you may give an experience token to a unit. If you do, an opponent creates the credit token. Exactly the same thing. It's a tough one, I think. I mean, yes, we can buff our units. We don't... the cost. I think the cost for ourselves, okay, for sure, is not there, right? We can do it whenever we want. We don't have to disclose anything. We don't have to use the Force. They don't have to have like only 1 experience token. like with Obi. It's just make something bigger for the cost of giving a resource, a credit token. But the credit token matters, right? I mean, it's not like, again, it's limited. We're not playing the curve, but you can save credit tokens. You can have that playing a 7 drop on the 6 resource turn, which is annoying, right? So I think she's not as strong as I think a Leia, for example. I think she was the strongest of them all. But I think she's still an A. You still have the 2 drops, make them bigger, same turn. The opponent is not going to play anything else first turn, but has 4 resources available next turn, right? I mean, and they're going to have the cards in hand when they know they're playing against you. I mean, you have a 2, 3, 4 drop anyway, and then you can play your 4 drop on the second turn. It's probably not the best for you, but you have a 3 drop and a 2 drop with an experience token. I think she's strong. I think if the opponent knows what he or she is doing, she has to be super careful. Also deploying on 6, 4, 7. I mean, it's fine, but I like the 5 deployment leaders in limited. I mean, Leia was on 6 as well and did well. I think she's maybe stronger than Jyn. It all depends, right? But I think she has something going for her. But we'll see. Then the weird Boba that doesn't look like a Boba at all. It just looks like a small child having a weird armor. But whatever. Who am I to judge? Boba Fett, Command Villainy. I like that the Vigilance, Heroism are both A. Which one would I prefer? Would I don't know, with this exact same deck, I would probably take Jyn, actually. I'm not sure. It's a tough one. Anyway, Boba Fett. He's an underworld bounty hunter. Command Villainy. When a friendly bounty hunter unit attack ends, and I guess he doesn't have to survive, right? It's just after the attack, or whatever we used to call that, and now it's before and after the attack. If the defending unit was defeated, you may exhaust this leader. If you do, create a credit token, and he deploys on 5 as a 3/6 raid 1. When a friendly bounty hunter unit attack ends, if the defending unit was defeated, create a credit token. I think it's pretty strong. I think there's tons of bounty hunters in the set. I think an attacking 4/6 on 5 is quite strong. Where do we have him? We have him at A as well. I think I have him in the middle. I think he might actually be stronger than Vel, though. I like him. As long as I understand it correctly that your bounty hunter doesn't have to survive, I think that's quite strong. Getting the credit tokens next turn, you play above curve, you play something for 1 more. And you killed his unit, your unit dies as well, but you have credit tokens. And a leader deploying on 5, attacking for 4. I like him. I think he's quite strong. And again, I think it all comes down, and I think we have enough bounty hunters in there in all the different color combinations. And with the splash and bases where you can play 1 card out of aspect anyway, I think you have really enough bounty hunters to make that work. Up next is Director Krennic. He is Command Villainy, Imperial Official, and has the action tap this leader, defeat a friendly unit, and create a credit token. And then he deploys on 7 as a 4/9. When deployed, another friendly unit deals damage equal to its power to an enemy unit. I think he's pretty bad. It's just the 7 resource deployment that bothers me. You're not going to have... And you don't want to... Again, I mean, if you have the cards... we're not going to want to destroy our units just to make some credit tokens, right? We don't have the card pool to build that deck. And to be able to we are... playing above curve, you can play this unit, cheat it out with some credit tokens early on. And if we don't use his ability, it's just a 4/9 on 7, which is pretty late. And of course, on the deployment, we can probably defeat something. It has to be another unit, though. Another unit is stealing his power as damage to another unit. I think it's bad. If I would have a Command Villainy deck, I would probably always take Boba in this deck. Up next, another shot at Spectres. Let's see if it works out this time. Hera didn't work that well. First set Hera. Kanan did not work that well. I mean, Kanan was okay, I guess, but set all the Spectres that we had so far? I guess so. Anyway, Hera is command heroism. She's a rebel, Twi'lek, and a Spectre. While you control 2 or more units, ignore the aspect penalties on heroism units you play. Deploys on 5 as a 3/6, has restore 1. And while you control 2 or more units, ignore the aspect penalties on heroism units you play. This exact same ability. So at least she deploys finally on 5. I think that Hera unit from Spark of Rebellion deploying on 6 was so annoying. Where do we put her? I think I have her in B. It's a tough one. I mean, I guess with the splash base, it's like a safeguard to include those units if you have multiple Spectres. And those Spectres are fun, like Kanan is fun, Zeb Orrelios is fun, Ezra is fun. I mean, those units are strong and fun. And if you have the splash base, you can at least play one of them for free anyway. I mean, it's just ignoring one aspect penalty though. And I don't know if you have, having great 2-drops is usually the annoying part in draft or limited. And having 2 or more units on the board is usually not that easy. So I think, she's interesting. Restore 1, whatever, do we need that? 3/6, like we said, on 5 is okay. It's probably the standard. Maybe it's better when she's deployed, because she's another unit that probably doesn't die right away. We probably have another unit out, and then we can play for 5. What's the 5 cost unit? Is that... Kanan is the 4. I think it's the Zeb, right? Zeb is the 5-drop unit. Deal some damage. Let's actually look that up. Zeb Orrelios is the 5-drop, exactly. Sentinel. And if you have a command unit, you can deal 5 damage to a ground unit. So why not? Sounds like a great plan, but then you need to have Zeb, which is, I guess it's only uncommon. But you still need to have a Zeb. And I guess you play Vigilance or Aggressive base, you have the Splash, you can play him anyway if you only have the Hera on the ground. It's going to be a super interesting set for limited, I think. I like a lot of the multi-aspect cards. I think they look great as well compared to other opinions out there. I think it's going to be super interesting and a lot of choices. How many cards do I include if I play the Splash base? I mean, in limited you're playing it anyway, but how many cards do I actually include to enable the base? Do I include just 1 3-off or 2 3-offs or whatever? I have her in B. If we have the cards, we can make her work, but if not, she's gonna be super difficult. Probably, I think, better than Leia though, which is our next leader.
This is the way.
I find your lack of faith.
This is the way.
I like that.
This is the way.
I like my sausage fingers just pressed 2 buttons. Anyway, Leia Organa next, the second command heroism leader, is a rebel and has the action pay 2. Tap this leader or exhaust. For this phase, give a unit +1/+1 for each different aspect it has. So usually it's gonna be a +2/+2, I guess. Sometimes a +3/+3, I guess rarely. Sometimes also just a +1/+1 for 2, which is not the best. No, remember, it's gonna die. If it takes damage, whatever, that is gonna go away at the end of the phase, and it's gonna die anyway. She deploys on 5 as a 2/2, has overwhelm, but when deployed, choose a unit, give an experience token to that unit for each different aspect among units you control. I mean, if we have all the different units that we need, why not? We can make her like a 5/5 on deployment, for free compared to Chewbacca, which we'll talk about later on. But we need 3 different aspects, right? I mean, is this going to happen? Yeah, why not? I mean, 2 aspects you're going to usually have. So it's a 4/4, which is not bad. It's not a 4/4 shielded like another unit out there as well. 5/5 would be great, I guess. If you can make her a 5/5, I'm all game. But it's going to be super difficult. And her ability, it's just for trading, I guess, right? I mean, are you going to have the high HP units early on that are like, I don't know, a 0, like a Lobot, 0/4, and then all of a sudden it deals 2 damage, has grid as well, and then still is like a Sentinel or whatever? I mean, it's not this set, of course, but are you going to pull those kind of units that you need in order to make her ability work? And her ability is super expensive, right? Two resources is super expensive, also in limited. I think she's bad. I think she is a C. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, if you can, again, like if you can make her a 5/5, why not? It's a 5/5 on 5. 5 HP is not the best, but attacking for 5 can be great. But her ability after she dies is just annoying as well again. I would much rather have a Hera, I guess. Then, her daddy. An interesting one as well. Vader. Darth Vader is, of course, aggression. Villainy is Force, Imperial, and Sith. As the action, exhaust this leader, discard a card from your hand, deal 1 damage to a unit or base. And then deploys on 7 as a 6/8. He at least got the stats, right, for a 7 deployment leader, which is annoying. On attack, discard any number of cards from your hand, deal damage to a unit or base equal to the number of cards you discarded this way. I think he's for sure better than the other 7 deployment leaders. I have him on B. Super late again. At least he has the stats to like do something on 7 resources, right? Attacking for 6, and then you discard some cards. Of course, you're not gonna have super many cards in your hand, so you can't like discard 5 cards, kill a unit while attacking base for 6 or something, or killing 2 units. You can deal damage to any unit, right? To a unit or base equal, yeah, even space units. I mean, I think he's interesting. But I think you need to have the right cards, and I think there's not tons of right cards to go along with him. I think it's gonna be super difficult to pull off. I think he's worse than Hera just because he deploys on 7. Again, 6/8, why not? But then you probably have 4 cards in your hand as usual, and then you like deal, I mean, maybe 2 damage to a base and you discard 2 cards. Doesn't feel great. I like her leader ability better, like discarding 1 and then like maybe ping something for his death. Attacking, trading damage on the second turn with your 2 first drops, 1 drops, 2 drops, and then just finish him off with the Vader ability, discarding a card. I like that. Pinging, discarding cards that you don't need. But you have to do this. You have to do this until the 7th resource turn, right? Which is a long way to go. Then we have Sebulba, an interesting one as well. Goes right directly into the other direction as Vader. Aggression, villainy, fringe, action. Tap this leader. Discard a card from your deck. A friendly unit gains raid for this phase. He deploys on 4, which is great. Has a 2/5 with raid 1, which is also great, and has on attack discard a card from your deck. I just don't know. I just don't know if we have time to discard that many cards from the deck, right? I mean, he deploys on 4, he attacks twice at least, so you're discarding 2 cards. Do you want to give the raid 1 to your units? Probably you discard 2 more, 4. You're already on 18 cards. 30 minus 6, you draw 2 more. I mean, it goes down quickly, right? But if you have the cards, if you have like 5 Sebulba's pod racers that just ready when you do these shenanigans, I see him being crazy. But 3/5 on 4 is also great. Of course, 5 health at some point dies. I mean, maybe you have some kind of upgrades put on him, attack 4 times and then win. I think I think I prefer him over Vader. They prefer him over Hera. Just without knowing the card pool. I don't know. I think he has a smaller niche than Hera, I think. You need to have the cards for Sebulba to work. But I think he's solid. He's a B. If you have the cards, play him. If you don't, stay away. Up next, Chewbacca. Another interesting one. You actually pay resources for him. Aggression, heroism, his underworld. Wookiee has the action. Pay 1, defeat a friendly resource, deal 2 damage to a unit and create a credit token. Can you, I'm just asking now, you can probably pay the one that you're defeating. I guess, I mean, it doesn't have to be a ready resource, right? Probably. Why would you have to defeat a friendly resource? Whatever, questions over questions. Why would you... whatever. Then deal 2 damage to a unit and create a credit token. And then he deploys on 4, but you have to spend the 4 resources. He deploys on 5, 6. No debate, that's great stat line for 4, all sure. On attack, you may defeat a friendly resource. If you do, deal 2 damage to a unit and create a credit token. I don't think he's gonna work. I think he's interesting for limited, but I don't think he's gonna be worth your time in limited. You know, if you think about it, I don't know, maybe I'm just wrong. You know, there's not tons of removal, so being a leader or not being a leader doesn't change much. On 4 resources, you have tons of 4/4 units, even in this set, I think. So, you pay 4, you have a 4/4 unit, and then basically your leader is basically a 1/2, right? I mean, do we want that? Of course, we can upgrade him, but we can also upgrade the 4/4. Of course, the 4/4 doesn't come in ready. We can upgrade him. No, we can't, because we already paid the 4 resources. So we can upgrade him the next turn. And then again, are we going to pull the cards that allows us to destroy resources? And like, oh, we don't want to go to 7. We don't want to play cards until you deploy with your Vader. I mean, I think there's some interesting stuff going on in the premiere. I think he has a shot in the super hyper aggressive shell, but in limited, I don't think he's worth your time. I'm sorry, Chewie. Then we have Enfys Nest. The other aggression heroism leader is Underworld, has the ability when you use an on-attack ability. You may pay 2, expensive. And exhaust his leader. If you do, use the ability or that ability again. Then he deploys on 5 as a 3/7, which is fine. When you use an on-attack ability, you may use the ability again. Use this ability only once each round. So you don't have to pay anything. He's much better than Chewie, I think. You have the 3/7 deployment on 5, which again is great. Where do we have her? I have her on C, but now thinking about it, I don't like her leader side ability at all. 2 is super expensive. There's not that many on attack or good on attack abilities in this set. Not many on attack abilities that like justify paying 2. But once she deployed, I mean, using a non-attack ability, when is it? When you use one, right? Yeah. For free twice, why not? Are restoring stuff on attack abilities? Let me know in the comments. I mean, 3/7 is fine. Tobias Beckett seems to be my reference to some extent. But for some reason, I mean, but 4/6 is just better. I think she is going to be. She's better than Vader, right? Is she? I think she's better than Vader, just because she deploys as a 3/7 on 5. I think I had her way lower, but now, I mean, again, I don't think you're going to use her leader ability ever. But deploying on 5 and then having some on attack, maybe use that thing twice. Why not? I think she's better than Sebulba. I don't think she's better than Sebulba. Let's put her here. Then Jabba the Hutt. Cunning Villainy is Underworld Hutt. Has the action pay 1, exhaust this leader, return a friendly Underworld unit to its owner's hand. Create a credit token. Deploys on 6 as a 3/9 action. Play an Underworld unit from your hand. If you defeated a credit while paying its cost, that unit gains ambush for the face. I think I'm just a noob talking here, but I guess defeating means paying a credit token, right? I mean, if you play a unit and you pay as a credit token because you cannot, can you spend a credit token? Or is defeated like some other shenanigan where you need to defeat something like with, I guess, Lando defeats stuff, right? Not sure. Anyway, where do you have Jabba? Jabba. I guess sacrificing, like we said before, sacrificing your own units in a limited format seems expensive to create credit tokens. I mean, credit tokens, again, I think it's a great mechanic. I think it's going to be super fun. I think credit tokens are pretty strong. But do we want to sacrifice, or, I mean, you're not sacrificing, bouncing, do we want to bounce our units in order to create a credit token? I don't think so in a limited format again. I like her action ability on the unit side where it gives, as I understand it, everything you ambush that you paid for using a credit token. Let me know if I'm mistaken, then he's probably further down on the tier list. But even with that, I think it's gonna be... is it gonna be bad? Ambush? I don't know. I think I'm gonna put Vader down and him up. 6 deployment as a 3/9 seems okay-ish. Not the best, I guess. You just need to make sure you make credits. And again, if I'm correct, then why not? You know, giving everything ambush. But you need to have ways to create credit tokens. And then if you play stuff, paying with credit tokens, and then it gets ambush. Seems like a great ability. Let's just have it symmetrical like this until the end. I guess I will put it like this for now. The next one, the client, also an interesting one, is the other Cunning Villainy base leader. Imperial Official has the action, tap this leader. If you created a token this phase, exhaust an enemy unit and then deploys on 5 as a 4/4 shielded, which is insanity, I think. Has the ability on attack if you created a token. This phase exhausts an enemy unit. I think he's great, and this is basically just because he's 4/4 shielded. I think 4/4 shielded is insane. You know, it's the only 4 attack unit, and Boba is raid 1, I guess. That deploys on 5, and I guess Tobias Beckett as well. And has shielded, so he takes care of multiple units. I think his ability is a little odd because you're so slow. Probably you need to create a token, and then the other one is the opponent's gonna attack, and then you can top something down. It doesn't cost on the leader side. It doesn't cost on the unit side either, but you just need to create it. I mean, it's usually your second turn that you can exhaust something. Why not? It's always that weird situation, and you're probably not going to deploy because I have my leader still available. I mean, we need ways to make credit tokens. If you have those ways, and we have a great Cunning Villainy card, card pool. I think it's better than Jabba. I think. But what do I know? It all depends for the credits, I guess. The next Han Solo, probably, or most certainly, the worst Han Solo we had so far. Vigilance Heroism. I guess it was time for this. His Underworld action. Tap this leader, defeat a friendly token, deal 1 damage to a unit. I think it's super expensive in Premiere and in Limited. I mean, what kind of tokens? What I saw this talking about, I mean, maybe the Force would be a token that's worth 1 damage. But even the force token that can be damaged as well is like, yeah, do we want to play this? Then he deploys on 5 as a 4/5, also 4 attack, I guess. Another one. But without a shield, that's much worse. But I mean, it's okay, whatever. Saboteur, if you really need the Saboteur. And on attack, defeat any number of friendly tokens. Deal damage to a unit equal to the number of tokens defeated this way. Yeah, I think it's going to be super bad. Super bad. If you want to play him as a 4/5 just to play Cunning Heroism, why not? But I don't think you're going to ever use his ability. Sometimes this is not bad in Limited. I mean, a 4/5 is not bad, like we said again. Where do we have Lando? If Lando is much higher, Lando is much higher. Yeah, I'm going to put him on the bottom here. Not the bottom. I think he's better than Chewie. I think he's the best tier list leader, I think. If you just have him, you have a crazy, insane Vigilance Heroism card pool. Go ahead and play him. You're probably, maybe you need the Saboteur as well. You're probably never going to defeat a credit token for 1 damage, but what do I know? Then, last but not least, we have Lando Calrissian. The last leader, the second Vigilance Heroism leader, who is also Underworld, has the action pay 1, exhaust this leader, choose an aspect, then discard a card from your deck. If it has the chosen aspect, create a credit token. Then he deploys on 6 as a 4/7, which I guess is fine. When deployed, you may defeat a friendly credit token. If you do, create 3 credit tokens. I think he's interesting. I think if I have both leaders, Vigilance, Heroism, Lando and Han, I would most certainly always pick Lando. I think his leader side ability is fine. The ability to save a resource from the earlier turn and save it to the next turn or then add one after that one. It's just with the, I guess in Limited, to some extent, luck of drawing the right card. We're probably not going to be able to look through the cards and put something on top of the deck and then know what aspect it is. But it's either a Vigilance or whatever the second card is, 50-50 chance, probably a little more than that if we know what aspect we have more in our deck. And then just, if you're not playing the curve, save a resource for the next turn. Why not? And then if we have probably other ways to create credit tokens as well. We deploy, we defeat one of those credit tokens, and we get 3 more, so 2 more credit tokens. I think it's interesting. I think it's a little annoying that he deploys on 6 and doesn't have an ability that impacts the game, like Leia did with dishing out experiences for free on top. Where it's like, oh, I only deploy on 6, but I can make my ability be worth tons of value until that point because I dish out experiences. So that's a little annoying because I think, in my opinion, most of the leaders are going to be 5 deployment leaders. But I think Lando is fine. I think Lando, I don't think he's stronger than the client because it as much doesn't do. He doesn't impact the game until he deploys, right? Where do we have him after the client? But is he stronger than Beckett? I would put him here probably, or even here. I would probably put him here. Again, those B leaders and C, I guess as well. B and C are fine if you really have the card pool, right? If you have tons of crazy cunning heroism bombs and you need a leader to play it. Lando is gonna be fine. But again, it's not gonna impact the game until he deploys as much as a Gerrera, for example, does, or a Vel Sartha does with dishing out experiences, but also dishing out credit tokens, I guess. But the same goes with Agent Kallus as well, right? He's not going to give you the edge. He's just going to make your card pool that much crazier. So maybe I'm second guessing myself now. Maybe my approach was, not wrong. I mean, I have Vel Sartha at 8. That's fine as well. You know, not a lot of them do actually impact the game while on their leader side, I guess. It's Vel Sartha that just makes your units bigger. Other than that, I guess Leia, I guess, to some extent. But anyway, that's the list. I think it looks okay. I think if I have Agent Kallus, I would immediately put him in, even though I'm pretty much just... It's any card too, right? It's not just units. It's just whatever card you have, you can play it, and it's just... You're probably just playing better cards than your opponent during the game. Saw Gerrera is to some extent my personal hope and empathy for the character, but I think he can be great. I think the 6 deployment for 4-7 is a little annoying because he's enabling you to do those crazy trades with Overwhelm. Maybe have like chip 1, 2, 3 damage in there every now and then. And then I think Boba is fine, Vel Sartha and Jyn. I think those would be the ones that I'm looking for. And then the other ones, like we said, are going to be leaders where we need the cards. Anyway, I guess with that, I leave you. And please let me know what you think. What leader you have evaluated much higher or lower than I did. What leader you're actually excited to try out. And if you played already some pre-releases, what results you got with those leaders. Thank you for watching. Thank you for your support. Have a nice week. See you next week. Bye bye, guys.